This week's astrology is supporting you to launch forward towards success in your life. Get ready for some fresh, new energy, stabilizing energy as well, to build a stronger and more meaningful foundation in one or even more areas of your life. Hey everyone, it's Christine. Welcome to this week's weekly energy forecast for the week of January 8th through the 13th. There's tremendous support here this week to launch something or get something off the ground or continue putting in that time and energy to a long-term project or goal that you may have your eyes set on. If you're interested in entering the monthly drawing for a complimentary 60-minute personal reading with me, it'll be live via video. Drop down your favorite color below. I'll pick a winner and I'll announce this in early February through a weekly energy forecast video and a community post. There is absolutely no pressure, by the way. Let's dive into the astrology. Quick reminder, as always, all times are in Eastern Standard Time or New York City time for reference. So starting off the week on January 8th, we have Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces. We've seen this transit before. This is all about being fogged in, not seeing something in the way that we want or not understanding something. So there's a high propensity or potential for lack of clarity, for misunderstandings, for delusionment, and even deluding yourself. So be really careful here, because you may feel like you're communicating or wires are getting crossed and understanding others or people understanding you. Same thing when it comes to anything important revolving around contracts, signing things like important signatures, money, having talks with important people or in relationships. Caution here, and also too of investing in anything, time, energy, commitments, because you may not see something at that moment and it could arise and you may not have a way out, if it's a contract or something of that nature. With this transit, it's really important to back off if you're feeling that tension or frustration coming up. Don't push it, don't try to move it forward, especially with Mercury and Sag. So this transit really highlights not understanding or seeing something clearly, which can induce conflict. But I feel like when you work with this energy, it's important not to push, not to keep resisting, especially when you're feeling it. You're feeling that, oh, this isn't working out, or someone's not understanding this, or maybe you've sent many emails back and forth and it's kind of not going the way that you expected. And also too, conversations over email are not the best at this time, or even I'd say in general, because there's a lot of opportunity for miscommunication. Regardless, back off, pause, reflect, and wait. Because the higher expressions of Neptune are also asking us to trust what we don't always see, but we feel. So this is another reality check moment or opportunity to check in with yourself and ask yourself, what am I feeling at this time? And what am I seeing? Because there's more than likely some type of incongruency coming up here. On January the 9th, we have the Sun in Capricorn trining Uranus in Taurus, the Moon shifting into Capricorn, and Mars in Sagittarius sextiling Saturn in Pisces. The ground is ready for launching, for takeoff, and for an authentic change to happen, especially with this Uranus shakeup, or Uranian shakeup, I should say. Lots of wonderful earth energy here to keep our feet and ourselves grounded on this earth while we embrace new opportunities, new changes, new shifts. Something unexpected could come, a realization, an epiphany, or we could ourselves realize, you know what, there's something I want to pursue and I'm seeing it and I'm going to break free and go towards that, especially with the Sun trining Uranus. This is really asking us to stay true to who we are and to follow that nudge that we're getting, because it's going to be very personal here with the Uranus energy. There's something here that may be calling to you to change or express, especially about yourself, your identity. It could be about how you look as well. It's about yourself. And I feel like this is about going after what maybe in the past you would have said no to because of fear, of discomfort. And now you're at that point where you're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I wanted to do. Or this is something very different, but I know I want to do it. It's aligning to that energy. It's very exciting. It feels good. And you're going to know it, because it may be something other people may even say, what? Because they won't understand it. Only you will. So that's something to keep an eye out with this. This is really about embracing who you are and taking that step forward. This week is all about that. If any of you are still working on your goals for 2024, this is a great time to get that framework up and to start solidifying them. As I mentioned in previous videos, towards the end of January, we'll have definitive clarity to move forward. And I feel like for many folks, the actual New Year, especially if you celebrate the Lunar New Year on February, I believe it's the 15th or the 10th, that I feel is going to really represent a new beginning, like cut the ribbon, it's time. So this is an opportunity to embrace who you are and to take steps towards that, because the transit with Mars and Saturn, there are really positive aspects here that give us that determination, that drive, that inertia, that push forward, and more importantly, that energy where we're like, I'm ready to invest in this. I'm ready to go all in here. And you may find yourself feeling passionate, revived, revitalized, because you're feeling that momentum, that energy. You know, when you get excited about something and you're willing to go all in, that's what I'm feeling here. This is an excellent time to continue chipping away at a long-term project that you've been working on, akin to like a book, dissertation, that kind of thing, maybe a particular goal or routine or habit that you've been wanting to hone or instill. Also, a wonderful time to get started during this day on something you want to build with a very strong foundation, something that may also be something more long-term or that may necessitate a greater time frame. Think of like training for a marathon, just for example, and I'm saying that for the time frame. Usually most folks don't train in a week or a day, especially if you're starting out. On January 11th, we have the new moon in Capricorn. We also have Venus in Sagittarius trining Chiron in Aries. Very uplifting energy. Also, I want to say stay tuned for a separate video on the new moon in Capricorn. It's important to look at the area of your life that Capricorn rules, because it'll highlight specifically for you the Capricornian significations, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and that's where the ancients got a lot of the meanings for these signs, not their houses, which many folks conflate in other systems or school of thoughts in astrology. So Capricorn, some keywords associated with Capricorn include goals or goal-oriented, ambitious or ambitions, discipline, being resourceful or resourcefulness, realistic and practical, limitations, boundaries. We have death, endings, tradition, time, and fears. So these may seem kind of serious, mundane, but they give you the exact structure and precisely the energy to grow, to succeed in an area of your life, especially where perhaps Capricorn rules, to get something going. So it's the opportunity to redefine, to strengthen, or to simply start anew in this area of your life. And I feel like all this week we're getting that support. So some of you may start thinking, this is what I want to change in my life. And it doesn't have to be particularly in the Capricornian area, although those are themes that will be especially supported. It could be a larger issue. Maybe Capricorn is going through your 10th house and you're like, no, I want to focus more on my health. You can still utilize the energy. So that's just a caveat. This is an excellent time to start anything new in particular, precisely because of the numerology 111. And I'll get more into that with a separate new moon video. But I just wanted to give you some tidbits here. With this aspect to Chiron, Venus is bringing healing energy here to relationships, especially around Venusian themes. Any relationship, particularly love, romantic relationships, finances, money, self-worth, pleasures, or value systems. So you may find your relationships, especially in the love, romantic sector, but again, any, and with other women in particular, feminine energy is a lot easier. You may gain support and feel that coming your way. And this could have something to do or is connected to a particular goal that you have, especially with the new moon in Capricorn, or simply a new goal as we enter this new year, which is commonplace. Many folks are ready to tackle and work on new things to grow. You may also receive support from folks in your circle, in your connections, people that want to simply lend support in many ways. It could be financial, it could be love, like cheering you on, giving you encouragement, words of affirmation. It could also be folks that lend resources or that simply align to your values and they're like, hey, I can mentor you or guide you, etc. These are some examples. Great opportunities for healing and simply reaffirming vulnerabilities, openness, trust, and connection during this time. On January 12th, we have Mars in Sagittarius, trining Jupiter in Taurus. So again, a wonderful energy here to use towards your goals, your ambitions, to what do they say, skirt or sail on the new moon energies, to basically combine them and to use it with the lunations energies here. Because this is where this is focusing you or asking you to refocus where and in what do you want to invest your time and energy. So again, this could be getting something off the ground or starting something new. This is also a wonderful time to work on any themes related to Jupiter and Mars, Sagittarian themes, and also Taurian themes. It could be around finances, financial matters, investments, book publishing, writing. I mentioned this because I kept seeing long-term and perhaps long-form types of content, but also publishing, writing, dissertations, blogs, websites, any form of expression, spirituality as well, travel plans, or reading a shit ton and learning. This is the day to get a lot done as well too. On the 13th, I don't know if he's mentioned this, we have the moon void of course from 4:59 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the bulk of the day. And then the moon shifts into Pisces towards the evening, Eastern Standard Time again. So for most of the day, we're going to be in this in-between. And of course, moon phase is something I don't denote simply because it really doesn't normally affect a lot of the energies, particularly since I see it happening, throughout the night. And it'll depend again on where everyone is located at. But we have a large chunk of it here for most of the day. And this moon phase, the void of course moon phase, happens when the moon leaves an aspect and is traveling on her way to the next aspect. Think of her going through the constellations. She just left Leo, for example, and the moon is like, okay, next destination is Virgo, but she's still a little bit of ways. So during this time, you can consider it like a liminality, a voyage. So this isn't a time to particularly start anything new, to do anything important. It's similar, akin, some astrologers have said it's similar to retrograde energy, but it's not the time to start anything new, to sign contracts, to initiate things like new relationships, new jobs, etc. This is an excellent time to finish things up, to declutter, to clean, for self-care and nourishment, connecting to your spirituality, reflecting and meditating, particularly since this leads up to the moon entering into the sign of Pisces. Also a great time to reflect, to plan, and to strategize. So if you have anything that you want to start or do concerning health, medical, making appointments of that sort, starting relationships again, contracts, just be cautious, use your intuition, and it's not suggested here, especially also to important decisions. This is a perfect way to end the day by sleeping on it. I also have here too a great day because it encompasses such a large chunk to tap into your spirituality, especially if you're still wanting to gain clarity on a particular goal or goals in your life that you want to pursue in 2024. The new moon in Capricorn doesn't have to be the end all be all. It simply has the energy supporting it to get something off or continue something. So this could be an excellent time to tap in to other realms, to your spiritual team, and ask, hey, I need clarity, I need guidance, help, SOS, and you're going to receive it, especially with the moon going into Pisces. So coming up on the 17th, we have the first quarter moon in Aries. On the 20th, we have the sun in Capricorn conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have the sun entering Aquarius. So a bunch of shakeups and moves happening. So let's get started in the tarot, or with the tarot forecast, and see what else we need to know for this week. How else can we use these energies? A markedly different sense from the previous week. But I almost feel like it's better that it tailed off from the full moon and rather it start off this week in this way, or at least the new year starting off this week, and then going back into something like this. What do we need to know for this week? I also pulled 3 oracles. They're really 2. One's a starseed oracle, and it's short. Okay. Thank you. And let's get this one. We've got the Hero's Journey Oracle. What else do we need to know for this week? Okay, we're picking. I'm going to be here all day. And then I'll pull these after. So your first card. We have 9 of Wands, fire energy. King of Swords, air energy. Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. And 4 of Swords, more air. Okay, be careful, especially with some opportunities that could come up with the aspect to Uranus this week. There's a potential for something to come in that you may have wanted or have had a longing to do or have thought about it, and it could come in almost perfectly wrapped for you. Or you may feel a call, like I'm going to apply for that job that may seem out of my league, or I want to potentially go to a new restaurant, or I want to try something different. There's that energy here. This energy screams to me of potential self-sabotage. Perhaps that's why we started the new year off that we did. So be really careful here, because there's a resistance of almost taking action in the direction that you want to go this week because of some fears or insecurities that are coming up. This could be self-talk in particular, where you may be wanting to try out for something again. It's something new, something that could be out of your comfort bubble or something that you've been wanting to do. And you could say, oh, you're not ready, or you don't know enough, or no, you have to do this, or look a certain way, or whatever it is. There's a lot of communication here, but it's happening in here. And I feel like it has to do with talking to yourself, thinking, analyzing, overdoing it in that way. That's causing you to almost put the brakes on. It's as if you're about to go to a new restaurant. Say you want to go to a new networking event. You're at the door, then you see people and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. And then you walk out and go back in your car. This is the energy I'm feeling. So be really cautious of things that come up and prepare your toolkit. Have in your toolkit mantras, affirmations, and also think about what ways or what could come up that could potentially sabotage this, especially if it's in the direction of your ambitions and goals. It's in line with this week's energy here. What's coming up that makes you feel the way you do and that's making you think you can't do this? It could be imposter syndrome for some of you. It could be, I'm getting a lot of limiting beliefs. And it could be people dinging at you or you remembering from the past, people that said things to you, or you may have an experience where you tried this out. It's kind of like when someone tries out for a sports team and they may not have gotten in or passed, I don't know what it's called, the test, samples. I'm not really sure because I didn't do sports, but I'm sensing like there's a rejection and then you want to do it again. And there's a possibility of that rejection and you're tapping into that old memory. So just be cautious and aware of that, because that if that comes up, remember it's all up here. And I'm not saying that to negate your experience, but a lot of what we're worrying about, it stems from things that we're repeating to ourselves over and over. And there's a delicate fine line here of saying that, because it's going to depend largely on where you're at in your healing journey, your level of awareness, and also too how you're ready to proceed through this. And I'm saying this because I wouldn't want you to limit this. I wouldn't want you to limit yourself or limit this opportunity for yourself. But that's something you're going to have to come into full awareness, which I do feel with the King of Swords here. Just be really careful. You know, when things just are going really well, or something where you've had a week or a day or months where things are just going really well and you're getting different opportunities, blessings, different things that are helping you grow and make you feel more excited for life. it's like that streak of when things go well. Sometimes folks, especially if you've experienced dysfunction in your life, you may feel like, when's the shoe gonna drop? When is the bad thing gonna happen? So what if you just focused on the good things and say, you know what? What if everything does turn out well instead of negative? And so those are the type of patterns to just be cognizant of. So any negative self-talk or beliefs that are coming up, like you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you don't know it all, counter it. You're your biggest supporter, lover, fighter, and believer, but you can also take yourself down. A lot of this has to do with self-undoing here. Okay. I pulled from the Ancestors and Angels Oracle deck. I haven't used this in a while, and I felt very guided. The owl has a meaning for some of you. I learned recently this is a barn owl. It really imparts wisdom and intuition. We have here Shield Maiden. Make plans and focus. Some of you during the void of course moon phase that I mentioned, which will happen largely on the 13th, Sunday. This may be a time where you connect with yourself and your guides and even your strategy and your plan, and think about what obstacles could come up with your goals, with your plans, your strategy, the year you have, and anything that you're dealing with. Because that's going to give you a greater sense of confidence and empowerment too, and also allow you to have some semblance of control where you're like, okay, if this comes up, this is something I could potentially do. If someone says something to me, I'll have something already scripted, something short that I can memorize or know, and I can use that to respond back. This is about being prepared. Coming in, because some of you, this is a level similar to the King of Swords energy. I feel like some of you don't want, how do I say this? You don't want to be seen in a way that makes it seem like you're not prepared. I also feel like this is about guarding your vulnerabilities and emotions too, because of past hurts. So some of you may feel like you have to over prepare, but I'm also sensing it's not about over preparing because of perfection or demonstrating to others. That's not the point. It's simply about making sure, okay, I've got some contingency plans here. So if something doesn't happen in the way that I want, like say you're giving a presentation, it's electronic, we'll make sure you have hard copy notes, because if the computer goes out or something happens to the hard drive or whatever, something malfunctions, at least you'll have your notes and not freak out. This is going to give you a lot of strength and support. So think through any obstacles, insecurities, fears that could come up, anything that's coming up in relation to your goals and moving forward, because this is a point of strengthening. Let's get the Heroes Oracle. We have 42, which reduces to a 6 in the Castle of Dreams. Become altered by the color of your dreams. This reminds me so much of Neptune, especially in the beginning of the week. I feel like you're going to get communications for some of you through your spiritual guides about this. Some of you are being asked to dream big. You first need to reflect and connect with yourself in stillness, in silence, separate from other people, and ask yourself, what do you truly desire? Because a lot of times, you know what's interesting? When we want to do something, sometimes we get fearful or we become fearful or doubts come up. And when we ask ourselves why, it could be because we simply don't want to do what it is that we're doing. We may not enjoy it. We may not like it. There could be discomforts. Again, it'll be important to identify those emotions, but there could be a lot of things coming up. And sometimes we may feel like, oh, this is because I'm not really capable or I'm not really able to do this, when in fact it may be because it's ill or mal-suited. So really take time to get very, very clear on your goals, on your dreams. This is where connecting to your spiritual guides is going to be important, because I feel like many of you, I'm seeing a lot of fruit. So there's a very like a colorful landscape here. There's a lot of things that you may want to do that you maybe haven't put down on paper or haven't grounded it into reality in a way, and it's just been up here. So it's important to really clarify that. I feel like there's something that wants to be born here. Don't shy away because something could be scary or fearful as well, or a lot of these fears come up. There's several things coming up here because many of you are being asked to go forward, and it's precisely through these experiences where you're going to also simultaneously heal, going back to the beginning of January and even back to the several lunations, especially the full moon in Cancer. You're healing through these new dreams and opportunities and goals. So that's why it's important to fortify yourself. I remember when I started teaching long ago, I never really liked being in the limelight, and I still don't, even though ironically somehow I'm on YouTube, but I've always preferred being behind the scenes. And that just goes with past life energy. But I've always liked, working behind the scenes, talking to people in small groups, and I would get scared and freaked out having to do it. It's not even the talking, it's just the energies of everyone just watching you. And I remember the first course I taught, it was 120 students. It had a lot of people. And so what helped me a lot was holding things. Because if I use something, what do they call it? For people that need to hold on to a sensory object, I got a pen cap. I don't have a pen with me, but I have a marker or a highlighter. I would take the pen and I would just hold it in my hand, and that really, really helped me. In some oddball way, it gave me confidence. And it's because it grounded me. I could hear it click. So there's something here too for those of you. You can prepare your own little toolkit, like a shield that could help you. It could be maybe some type of scent, an essence, aromatherapy. It could be a motto, an affirmation. It could be a particular trinket, memento. What do they call it? An amulet. Some people wear certain jewelries, bracelets, crystals, coins, a pen, like I did. It could be something you wear. It could simply be a memory or a photo that you hold with you. Whatever it is, something that's going to help you. I feel it's going to give you a lot of strength. Let's get final starseed messages. See anything else we need to know for this week? Don't go back. That's the most important thing. We have Gaia. Connect to the pulse of Mother Earth. She will guide you through this time of change. Nature, spiritual guides. Gaia is Mother Earth. She's the cosmic mother. So this connects to the full moon in Cancer strongly. Underneath, we have signs. The universe has been gently nudging you forward by revealing to you signs and synchronicities. So again, if you're feeling like, yes, I want to do this, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I don't, and you want to hide, that I feel is a nugget, a golden nugget for you to recognize and ask yourself, okay, what's this talking to me about? What is this speaking to me about? What is this bringing up? Is this something I truly want to do? That's the clarity in your goals and your dreams. Because if you don't, you may be feeling some type of reaction and sensing, okay, it's time for me to exit because I don't really want to do this. But I also want to explore like why I felt this way. Also, too, if it's something you want to pursue, this is inviting you to get a little bit more personal with your feelings and your emotions. And it has to do with your healing. I feel like you are going to overcome this. I just pulled a card here from another deck, Page of Wands. I feel like you are going to overcome this. This is going to be the start of calling back your power, reclaiming your sense of who you are, your worth, your value, your esteem, your confidence. These are going to be moments or nuggets of opportunities where you can practice what it is that you're healing from. So you can put that into motion, and when you do that, you strengthen it. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope this reading has helped. Comment down below what you're experiencing, what's coming up with for you. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful week ahead.